Welcome to Decoding the 2025 USPS Mailing Promotions. This is going to be an interactive discussion brought to you by Sylvamo. Over the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to break down each of the new mailing promotions with real examples and practical applications. I saw a lot of you asking that when you signed up. Are we going to see real examples? And the answer to that is yes. So whether you're working with transactional mail or marketing campaigns, you'll leave today with actionable insights that are going to help you reduce costs and enhance your mail's effectiveness. I'm Dave Rosendahl, president of MindFire, and I'm going to be the moderator today for this event. Now, this is actually the third in a series of events that reflects Sylvamo's commitment to the direct mail market. In our first event, we were joined by former Congressman Kevin Yoder that you can see here on the screen. He's now leading the charge at Keep Us Posted, and he joined us for an insider's look at how we can handle the increasing postal rates and keep mail affordable. So a really interesting session there with Kevin. And then in the second, we hosted Marie Clark, that you can see here on the screen as well, from the Envelope Manufacturers Association, where we discussed how we and other industry stakeholders can work together for postal reform through engagement with our elected officials. So if you missed either of these, and if you would like the recordings, let us know in the chat, drop that into the chat, and we will make sure to get those over to you as well. Now, let me introduce to you the three industry experts with us here today. First is Chris Lien, who is the Executive Vice President of Postal Affairs for BCC Software and the Chairman of the National Postal Forum. Chris has been a significant force in the mailing industry for over 3 decades, and he's deeply involved with the Postmaster General's Mailers Technical Advisory Committee, or MTAC, as I'm sure many of you have heard of, which gives him an insider's view into the evolving postal landscape. So his insights are going to be particularly interesting today. Chris is a man of many talents, including the fact that he's an amateur astronomer, and he and his wife are ballroom dancers, which he says means that he likes dancing with the stars. So Chris, the dad jokes are strong with you. Thank you for being with us here today. And next up is Brenda Manos, who brings experience from both sides of the mailing industry. What I mean by that is that she's managed national accounts at major mail service providers, so like many of you here in the room, and now she's joined USPS as Business Alliance Manager. So her experience from kind of both sides of the table are going to really bring an interesting flavor to the conversation today around the opportunities with these promotions. Fun fact about Brenda, she's quite the gardener, especially with succulents, she says. She loves creating succulent arrangements as gifts, which is perfect timing with the holidays coming up. So Brenda, thank you for representing USPS today. I couldn't be more excited to have you with us and to hear what you've got to share. And lastly, we've got Jerry representing Sylvamo. And Jerry's got over 37 years of experience spanning a variety of disciplines in our industry: distribution, manufacturing, and sales. And in case you don't know Jerry or Sylvamo, 1 out of 3 direct mail pieces makes use of Sylvamo's paper, which makes Jerry's influence on today's conversation particularly important. And in addition, I think many of you know this, but one of the 2025 promotions we're talking about involves sustainability. And Sylvamo's paper qualifies for this promotion. So you're going to hear more about that later today, including how Sylvamo has made it easy for you to employ that promotion. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up shortly. Fun fact about Jerry, he actually wears a lot of different hats outside of Sylvamo. He's an ordained minister, which means he can officiate weddings, and he's also a bartender. So theoretically, Jerry could help you with your wedding invitations on Sylvamo paper, of course. He could perform the wedding, and he could mix your drinks at your reception. So full service from Jerry. He's got a lot for us today. Thank you, Jerry, for sponsoring the event today and for bringing us all together here in the industry. Lastly, before I bring our 2 experts onto the stage, I want to introduce you to 2 more people. In chat and in the Q&A are Darren and Stacia, both from USPS. As I mentioned at the start, we've had somewhere close to 900 of you register today, and I know that you're all going to have a lot of questions. So USPS has made available to us, in addition to Chris, Brenda, and Jerry that I just introduced you to, Darren and Stacia are going to be in the Q&A portion of today's event. All right? Is everyone ready to get started? I want to see if everyone's ready here. Drop a yes into the chat if you're ready to get started. Let me see those yeses coming in. We've got 472 of you in the room. So I think that surpassed all of our expectations. I expect that there's going to be more. Are you ready to get started, Chris? I'm coming over to you first, my man. One of the themes that we saw in the registration questions, folks, when you registered today for the event, you gave us your number 1 question about the postage promotions. But Chris, one of the things I saw was that a lot of people were still wondering, how do I demonstrate that mail's still effective? How can I demonstrate that to my clients, especially given the postage rate increases that we've all been facing? How much further are those rates going to go up? So I'd love for you to just give a little insight from your perspective at BCC and from what you see at the National Postal Forum. What's your take on those questions?
So that's a great question, David. And again, first of all, I want to thank everyone for attending the webinar and the opportunity to chat with you today. Here's the bottom line. Direct mail works, and it works exceptionally well. We know that. For many of us that are using it, it's a very powerful way to connect and relate to our customers. But there's real data that backs that up. And when we look at some of the response rates, and again, I'm going to be drawing on things like the household diary study from the Postal Service, the ANA report for 2023, we know that response rates for direct mail are significant. If you're talking about marketing mail, it's an 8% or a little bit higher. If you're talking first-class mail, and again, remember, first-class mail means you can touch it, you can trust it. It's something that's going to be delivered to you personally. We're talking 11%, double-digit response rates, people, and that's just on direct mail as a single channel, right? 91% of merchants say the catalogs are our primary tool for their marketing, and 1 out of every 3 millennials, again, value that physical coupon. They may put it in their digital wallet, David, but they're going to hang on to that coupon. There's a whole psychological thing called an endowment effect. That means that when you touch something, you want to hang on to that, right? You see value in that. And that's a large part of what direct mail does. So we know that, and we understand it. We can see neurological studies that have been done on the impact of mail as well, affecting 4 parts of your brain. When I touch a mail piece, it touches me back, right? I can see the piece. I can smell the piece even, and it just really brings everything to light. Digital only just misses out on that, right? When I just do digital only, I don't get that same kind of a deep imprint of the brand. So that's why digital and physical are meant to be together. And that's a large part of what these promotions are about. Now, look, I understand that direct mail spending as a single channel has declined, right? And we understand that. The digital part of that, it's interesting, it's flashy, I might even say it's sexy, right? But you can't do omni-channel unless you've got direct mail. It's got to be a foundation on it. And yes, volume has gone down. We'll be interested to see what the 2024 volume reports are from the Postal Service. But when I compare 23 to 22, it's down about 9% in overall. But here's the key message. It's not about volume. It's about value. The value of the mail piece. This is from the ANA study from 2023. And this is the response rates that direct mailers and other channels are saying. 161%, my goodness, 161% for average return on investment from the companies that they surveyed for this particular result. And look at it for each different channel when you see the digital below. David, when I add up all those digital channels combined, I'm still not at 161. So it's really important to understand the power that direct mail has as a single channel. But here's the best part. When I add digital to go along with that, it's explosive. It takes it to a whole new level. It starts to open up doors that you wouldn't be able to do on just one channel alone. And that's a very exciting thing. So remember, it's not about volume, people. It's about value. We've got to talk about the value that direct mail has.
Chris, what can you tell us about the expected rate increases from this point forward? What are you prognosticating in that regard?
Well, they are going to go up, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to share it with you here right now, and you can see it on the screen. Since August of 2021, we know that the Postal Service is raising prices. And frankly, folks, we should not be surprised as an industry. We really shouldn't. The Delivering for America plan was quite clear on that 4-pillar plan. Pillar number 2 was they have to raise revenue, and they need to do that to optimize the network and have a stable platform for us going forward. So yes, prices have gone up, and they will go up in the future. As you look at the right of the graph, you're going to see that increase. Now, January is not going to have a price increase. The Postmaster General has already announced that, but I want to be clear with everyone. That doesn't mean the 1.6% that they could have taken is going to go away. It's simply going to be deferred. That's going to go to July. That means July of next year is going to be somewhere in that 7 to 8% range, very comparable to what we saw for July of this year. But here's the bottom line again. It's not about the price of postage. It's about the purpose of the piece. I really want to underscore that. What's the purpose of the piece? These mail owners, these mail service providers, these stakeholders in the industry are putting mail in the system for a reason. And again, as I said before, the reason is it works, and it works exceptionally well. So we need to sharpen our pencils. We need to take this pause of opportunity, I'm calling it, right? We've got a pause of opportunity. We have 7 months, folks, 7 months to start preparing for an opportunity to take advantage of promotions, talk about the purpose of the piece, and make sure that we're showing the value so that every mail piece counts. That's really what we need to focus on. So yes, postage are going to go up. Of course, you can see it on the screen here, but that's our challenge of the industry. Let's mitigate those postage increases, but more importantly, let's add value to the mail.
That's good. Thank you, Chris, for that. So now let's get into the details of these promotions. Brenda, I'm going to bring you on here. I know you and your team sometimes get a lot of heat from the industry, but we really appreciate you being here, and we know that you care about this as much as all of us here in the room do. So thank you for doing what you do and for helping us understand these promotions in the way you are going to today. So start us off with the basics, and let's go through each one of them one by one.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Dave. I really appreciate being here, and thank you, Jerry, as well. So let's talk about the promotions and why participate. Well, we know that postage cost makes up a large portion of the mail campaign, and so why wouldn't you take a discount off of it? And we're going to show you new marketing ideas to put on your mail piece to increase your ROI, and we're going to give you a discount for that. And the industry perception that I've heard is it's too complex, or it's not worth my time, or I don't know where to get to support. And after this webinar, I'm hoping to dispel that perception. And what I hear from customers and MSPs who do take advantage of the promotion, once they get used to the mailing promotion portal in the Business Customer Gateway, we call it the BCG, it really is easy. I mean, it's a habit. You know, just go in there and it's repetitive. It gets really easy. And people, I promise you, it takes less than 5 minutes to upload a campaign. Many people tell me it takes a few minutes, and it also enhances your value to their value to their customer. And so I'm hoping that at the end that more people join, because you don't want to not know about this. You don't want your competitor to come in and say, hey, I've got a postage discount and great marketing ideas, and you didn't know about it. I mean, and you didn't suggest it to your customer.
Yeah, and we can tell by the number of you who have signed up, close to 900, and there's 521 of you here in the room, that this is obviously of significant interest. So Brenda, give us an overview here of the promotions we're talking about.
Okay, so we've got 5 promotions. 2 of them are new: continuous contact and first class mail advertising. And then what's really new for this year that we've never done before is the 2 add-ons. We're adding on informed delivery and sustainability for 1% each for the entire year. So a promotion can be paired with up to 2 add-ons. So in this case right here, you can do a tactile sensory interactive plus an informed delivery plus a sustainability for a total of 6% discount. Now, what you can't do is you can't do 2 promotions together. You can't do a tactile and an integrated together. And one other thing that you can't do is you can't just do informed delivery only for the whole year for 1%, because you have to pair it with a promotion, or you can't just do sustainability for the whole year without anything else. So you have to pair it with a promotion.
Interesting. So what's the timeline look like for this, Brenda?
Sure. This is a great calendar. I hope, if you guys get, asked for a sample of this, we're going to send it to you. This is basically, I'm not going to go line by line, but this is the registration period and the promotion period for each of our promotions. One thing just to take note, this is how I would use it. I would strategize. I look at it. I look at your customers and see which ones fit and take advantage of the discount the entire year. And I'll give you a little tip here. If you notice here in January, there's no promotion, but the integrated technology is a 6-month consecutive months. You get to pick your 6 months. So one strategy is to take that and do that one in January. So then you can take advantage of the promotions the whole year.
And now, don't you have some breaking news as well? Some of the registration windows have been changed from this calendar that you're going to be sharing with us today?
I do. And
all right,
I'll be sharing that with you.
Only hear it here, folks. All right.
Yes.
So Brenda, take us through the integrated technology.
So this is the first promotion, and integrated technology encourages mailers to send exciting mail experiences by connecting mail with digital technologies. And as you can see here on the side, it's a 3% discount. We have many ways you can use it. We're going to run through a few of the ways with you. And starting next week, it's registration open, so you can go ahead and send in your samples to see if they qualify. And then again, this one is a 6-month consecutive. You get to pick your 6 months. Eligible mail is first class, marketing mail, and nonprofit. And a shout out, if you're out there, to Mike Gunderson, who gave me this live sample. You guys can actually take a picture of it right now. This qualifies. It's a mobile shopping for the technology discount, because it goes to a landing page that you can shop at. So go ahead and take a picture of that. It's a sale going on if you want to go shopping at Banana Republic. But we wanted to show you a live example of one that qualifies, because it actually goes to a landing page to shop.
Yeah, and you mentioned Mike Gunderson at Gunder Direct. So we have a lot of industry friends here that are helping out with a lot of what you're going to be seeing in terms of the examples. Mike, you've done a fantastic job helping us. Thank you, sir. Brenda, I want to talk a little bit about that AI, the artificial intelligence one. There were a lot of questions that came in advance about that. So I want to speak about that for just a moment. If you look at the screen, folks, look at the screen here. On the left is an example of a direct mail piece. And to qualify for this promotion, the text that you see there, that the red arrow is pointing to, could be written by something like ChatGPT or Claude or one of these large language model chat-based AIs, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if this is Greek to you, let us know in the chat. We actually have a short training video that we could send you on this. But using something like ChatGPT, you can create a prompt that generates the text that you see here on the left that's used to generate this text, and submit a screenshot of that prompt to qualify. Honestly, folks, I don't think there's anything easier than this promotion. And with the power of AI, it's a really, really powerful way to boost the efficacy of your direct mail. So if you haven't looked at this, please take a look at it. Let us know if you need help. We're happy to send you those training videos as well. The other thing you can do here to qualify is to create an image using AI. So see that image in the upper right-hand corner? Let's call that the hero image just for the moment here. Imagine creating that hero image with AI. So you would want to type a prompt, create a prompt like the one you see here on the screen, submit that. And basically, folks, I like to call it free money. I mean, it's really pretty easy to do this. And even better, the power that the AI gives you here, I want you to hear me loud and clear on this. It's going to help you drive ROI from that direct mail piece. Chris, by the way,
Yeah.
speaking of cutting edge technology, tell us about the voice promotion that we also have here.
David, yeah, artificial intelligence, very cool, very emerging. There's a lot of, by the way, there's a lot of different things you can do with the integrated technology. But in my book, one of the easiest is to take advantage of what somebody probably already has in their house right now. I'm talking about those voice assisted devices. I've got one that happens to be from Amazon behind me. And I'm telling you, every time I'm talking, I swear she's listening to me. She always thinks I'm talking about her. But in this case, I actually am. So we're talking about the voice assisted device from Amazon that if you put just this phrase on a mail piece, take a look at the example on the screen here. And if I just say, tell the recipient of the mail piece, hey, Alexa, tell me more about One Main or tell me more about this particular offer. They're going to respond to that, right? That interactive aspect. Now, in fact, she's thinking I'm talking to her now. That interactive aspect with that device allows you to take advantage of the discount. So when I think about these promotions, there are many, many ways that you can qualify. Some of them are super, super easy. And in my case, I think this is one of the easiest ways to qualify. Get that voice assisted device part of it and start interacting with it and really take that mail piece to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, folks, if you need help, let us know in the chat. It's always good to hear from you. What are the things that you wrestle with, whether it's technology or figuring out how to get your direct mail integrated in this way? Let us know there in the chat and we're happy to help. Brenda, talk to us about the TSI here.
So the Tactile Sensory and Interactive promotion leverages technological advances to encourage sensory engagement with the physical mail piece. You can see this is a 4% discount. And I need to mention that gloss stock is no longer eligible. It was eligible this year and last year, but spot gloss will remain eligible. And an example of spot gloss would be like an uncoated postcard. And let's just say you're advertising for t-shirts. And so you have a photo of a t-shirt and you have the spot gloss on top of that t-shirt, that would qualify for a 4% discount. Also, specialty inks, sensory treatments, like on an envelope, if it's like kind of has a ridge on the end, something that you feel, that's a discount. Our registration is opening next week. And so you can go ahead and send it to us to see if it qualifies. The promotion period is February through July. And then an eligible mail is marketing mail, nonprofit marketing mail, and first class mail.
Brenda, when I talk to our customers, and I actually have a chance to visit some of the plants, I am always surprised at how many pieces you're probably already producing today that would qualify for this. The TSI promotion, as we often talk about it internally, it's such an accessible one. And you're doing pieces like this all the time. You mentioned the spot gloss. When I was at the National Postal Forum, by the way, I hope you're all going to Nashville next week, or excuse me, next year at the end of April in Nashville for NPF. But I was looking at the name badges on there, and there was a region of interest where the NPF logo, you could feel that on there. And I was going around to people saying, hey, you know what, can you feel that? That's what 4% feels like, right? 4% is within your grasp. Speaking of NPF, got a little postcard here. This is what was being sent out to a lot of people for Indianapolis. If I peel off the little piece here to bring it in the exhibit hall, that's 4%. This is what 4% looks like, folks. This is how easy it is. I know you're doing pieces like this. Take a look at what you're doing. You'd be surprised at how much qualifies already. And all you need to do is register and get those pieces submitted for approval.
All right, Brenda, next one here, continuous contact. There were a lot of questions about this. So walk us through what this one is.
Okay, so this is new, brand new to USPS. This is the first year we're doing it. It's a 3% discount. And it's basically, we're going to reward you during the months of April 1st through December 31st to do a continuous contact. We're basically going to the same addresses and changing your message throughout. It's like a journey to talk to your customers. I'll give you a quick example. Is like if you take a restaurant, like say they do a postcard in April and buy one, get one free. Then they do one in June, a catering special. And then the third one is in July, they do kids eat free. So that was the same restaurant going to the same addresses, but they're changing their messaging. That would qualify for a 3% discount. So you would go ahead and the discount will apply to each mailing following the first mailing. So you would upload the artwork to the mailing portal, promotions portal for approval. They'll see the first one and then you'll send them the second and the third to show that it keeps changing the copy. And then that's how you would get your 3%.
Yeah. So just, again, to kind of put it into play here, right? So when we talk about continuous contact, what we're doing is we're sort of creating a theme and we're building on it with progressive messages. Astute marketers, David, I know you know this too. They'll tell you anywhere from 6 to 10 touches, if you will, right, are going to get the amount of response rate that you're looking for. 8 is the sweet spot, from my understanding. You want to strive for that 8. But as you're progressing through that, right, here's a great opportunity, folks, to get these touches. And remember, nothing touches you like mail, right? When I touch a mail piece, it touches me back. So you definitely want to have this in here. But as you're doing this campaign, pieces 2, 3, 4, however many you've got there, they're going to get that discount. So when you're talking to your customers and you're planning these campaigns, think about the theme. Think about how I'm going to progressively build upon that, right? To strengthen the image and increase that response rate and register that whole campaign. This is wide open, folks. I'm really salute our postal partners on giving a lot of runway here for the industry to get creative with this. So think about how we can do that and then start registering so that pieces 2 and beyond will get that discount as part of this overall campaign.
I have some friends behind the scenes that are texting me here. Some of my close friends, like Mike, my good friend Mike Robinson. Mike, I know that you and others in the industry are wondering at some of the details here around the continuous contact. So please, folks, be selfish with your questions. Lean into the Q&A and make sure to ask them. Amy, I see you asking on the continuous contact, does it need to be monthly? What if we mail every other month? Would those still qualify? Amy, take that, paste that into the Q&A, and let's make sure we get your question answered there. All right, Brenda, talk to us about reply mail.
Okay. So we did this last year and we're doing it again this year. And it encourages participants to streamline their QBRM, that's qualified business reply mail, and utilizing the intelligent mail barcode accounting, the IMbA. And customers can take advantage of the system's efficiencies, like the static barcode or the serialized barcode. We are going to give you 3 or 6% discount. The promotion is July through December. And this is the only promotion that you cannot do the add-ons, but that makes sense because it's hard to do add-ons on, business reply mail. But I have Chris over here going to talk to you a little more detail about the static versus serialized.
Yeah, so you touched on a really important point, and I want to make sure everyone understands it. This is one of the 5 promotions that can't do the add-ons, and really quite simply the reason for it is because the discount you're getting is if the end recipient put the QBRM piece in the mail, right? So in most of the promotions, you're getting the discount at the time of mailing. This is something a little bit different. It's sort of post-mailing promotion opportunities for you. But here's the good news, everyone. You all have access to the technology today to do this. If you're doing business reply mail, you're simply adding the new barcode, the intelligent mail accounting barcode, the IMbA, same as the intelligent mail barcode, but baked into the barcode is additional accounting information that's going to help our postal partners. It helps to reduce their costs. It brings everybody into a more modern technology for enterprise payment systems. And by using an intelligent mail IMbA barcode, if you put in a unique serial number, 6%, my goodness, 6%, folks, that you're going to get. So forget about that July increase. You wipe it out right away with a 6% discount in doing this. So take a look at your software. I know you've already got it. Take a look at the business reply mail pieces that you're doing and start using that IMbA barcode. Get those pieces serialized uniquely so that can come back to you and start taking advantage of a 6% discount that is so within your reach now with all the tools you need to make it happen.
Folks, I want to know from you in the audience here. I see tons of questions coming in. I see the chat. I see the Q&A. We've got 526 of you here with us. So far, of the promotions that you've looked at, the promotions that you've seen, which one excites you the most for your business or for your clients? Drop that in the chat. We just want kind of a real-time feed here in terms of what you're most excited by. I see continuous contact. AI, says Travis. Kevon, if I pronounce your name correctly, says A. Conan says tactile. Reply mail. Now they're coming in. Yeah, please let us know which one are you most excited by as we move here into the next first-class mail advertising. Brenda, give us an overview of this one here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at all the questions. They're all,
cool,
what you're excited about. A lot of continuous contact.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you don't, and I saw someone ask, you don't have to do one every single month. It's just whatever you do after that first one within that promotional period. So you can do as many as you want, but, until the promotion ends. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. This is also a new one, first class mail advertising. And so it's a 3% discount. Usually it's non-traditional marketing that uses first class, but we're asking you to, if you put a marketing message in your non-traditional marketing material, we're going to give you a discount because we want that piece that the end user is getting to last longer and help the response rates. And so, and of course, the eligible mail is the first class letter, cards, and flats. And I'll turn it over to Chris.
This is actually, even though this is classified as a new promotion, this concept is not new, right? Transactional, promotional, bringing those two together. We used to call that trans promo. We had a specific discount last year in the promotion, or this year for that particular part. This takes it to the next level, though, folks. First class mail, 60% of all mail is going to get read or scanned. That's per the household diary study. But first class mail in particular is going to get a high open rate because, again, it's personal, it's trusted, it's going to come straight to you. And when you put advertising in conjunction with that first class mail, 3%, folks, 3% on the promotion for simply putting advertising with that first class mail piece. And as Brenda's going to talk about, if that host piece is also recyclable, you start getting those add-ons. You start getting into 4%. Maybe you bring in informed delivery with that for the daily email. You're getting into 5%. Folks, it is so within your reach. You're already doing these kind of pieces today, or you could be doing it with just maybe a +1 adjustment in the software or working with your customers. Please, if you're doing first class mail, find out how you can add advertising to it. 3% is well within your reach.
Yep, got it. All right, that's good. All right, so Brenda, talk to us now about the add-ons here.
Okay, so the two add-ons are informed delivery and sustainability, which I'm going to talk further in the next slides. But the main thing that I want to get across in this slide is for the informed delivery, and it is for our mail service providers out there. And we did it this year. We're going to do it again next year, but we're going to get an extra 0.5% credit to the mail service providers that are in the e-doc, that are submitting, that are working, that are uploading the informed delivery. We want to reward you for doing the extra work that it takes. We want to encourage you to tell your customers about it. And you can, and the great thing is, because this is all year, you can get a 0.5% the entire year. I mean, that's pretty substantial.
All right, so informed delivery, we've been watching this for a while since it's rolled out, right? And what an exciting program. Why don't you go into a little bit more detail on that?
Yeah, so as far as this is the add-on, it's a free service from USPS that provides digital previews of incoming mail and package status updates. So that's just the big overview, but I'm going to have Dave discuss the benefits of informed delivery for business mailers.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So in case you're not familiar with informed delivery, and folks, I speak to thousands of mailers and print service providers, and I'm amazed how many are still not using this, even though the number of consumers, Chris is going to show you the data around this, is continuing to go up. But let me just quickly show you the user experience. So if you're not signed up for informed delivery, then what you're seeing here on the screen is going to be a little new to you. But basically, once you sign up as a consumer, so here my wife and I are signed up for informed delivery, you get a daily digest in your email of the mail that's coming your way. So you can see here on the left, we have something coming from Shutterfly. Hey, do we have any folks from Shutterfly here? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
And then over there on the right, you can see there is a grayscale or a black and white picture of a mailer that's coming. It looks like a cleaning out our house or something like that, which is kind of freaky because our house is a mess and we definitely do need to clean it. But that aside, the Shutterfly, no joke, the Shutterfly thing there on the left that you're seeing, in fact, and I didn't do any prompting, but my wife saw that and grabbed the catalog here, the mailer, out of the big waste bin of mail that we have, and put it on the kitchen table earlier today because of seeing it here in the informed delivery. No joke. So here it is in my hand, and yesterday or whenever it was I grabbed the snapshot, it was apparent here that it was headed on its way to our house. Chris, again, remind us, how much does this cost, and how many people are using this right now?
Well, here's a good thing, right? I'm sure we can all afford free. This is free, folks. Everybody in the country has access to informed delivery, and you know what? They're taking advantage of it. Informed delivery right now, 67.6 million users, right? I want you to stop and think about that, right? 67 million users with that. The households, 47 million households. That's like 1 out of every 3. It continues to grow. You can see it on the screen here. I am so excited about informed delivery because it means that every single one of you, everyone on this webinar today and those that are going to be listening to this later, you're in the multi-channel marketing game now. You're already doing multi-channel marketing. So why not take advantage of it? Why not look at informed delivery as that opportunity to add digital to your physical communication? And when you do that, and you do it with a color replacement image, that color image goes to the top of the email stack. It gets your brand a little bit stronger and printed into the brain, gives you an additional call to action that you can go that strengthens this. And we're talking to 32.6%, right, for the national average. It's across the country here. Everybody's got access to this, right? And the open rates are significant for informed delivery, right? I'd love to get 60% open rate on anything, and that's what we're getting with this because people trust the United States Postal Service. So look at the informed delivery, look at that opportunity. Again, you've got the software, you've got the technology that can help you make this. You're in multi-channel now already. Why not get that extra 1% all year long? You know, David, it used to be just a window of time for informed delivery. We only had like 60, 90 days to use it. You have 365 days now, people. 365 days to add informed delivery to your promotions and then level up your marketing efforts by doing that.
I see Tina laughing at me, and rightfully so, where I said the big waste bin of mail we have here. Let me just clarify that because I love mail. We have like 3 different baskets of mail because my kids, my family know that I love mail. So they're always kind of trying to sort it for me. And they had, which is a sin, but of course they had the Shutterfly thing in the wrong bin, the one that's going into the trash. They pulled it out of there. So Tina, thank you for calling me out on that. I love mail. I keep all of the mail that we get and obviously study it quite a bit. So next here, Brenda, talk to us about the sustainability add-on.
Okay, so this is brand new. And you know what? Most of your paper is probably already on sustainable mail and you don't even know it. So this is exciting, an easy 1% to get. And I'm going to tell you a little more about it. But we are going to reward you for going green with us. So the registration period, it's open now. So absolutely go in and see if your paper is sustainable. I'm going to tell you how to do that. But eligible mail is first class, marketing mail, and nonprofit. And these are the organizations that are already approved for sustainable mail. And so what you would do is you would get with your paper supplier and make sure that, you know, one of these are covered. And if they're using one of those, then you would be getting the 1%. And I'm going to show you on the next slide how that would happen.
Jerry, you want to add something here since Sylvamo, obviously, I know this is very important to you and to your clients. You want to add something before we go to the next slide?
Yeah, but before I do that, Dave, let me just thank you again for facilitating the Sylvamo webinar series. Very well done. Happy to be with Chris and Brenda on it. And Brenda, thank you for the probably inadvertent shout out, but uncoded postcards and envelopes are dear to our heart also. So that was very, very nice. Yeah, the piece, and we'll talk a little bit about it further, but between FSC, SFI, and PFC, we are covered across all the products within the Sylvamo family on this. So Brenda, if you want to walk through the balance of this, and we can bounce
Sure.
back to me after that.
Okay, so how to qualify for sustainability is there's two ways. The first way is you can put a logo up from the last page, all the ones that were acceptable. You can, and these are some of the logos that you can put on your mail piece. You can put on your postcard, you can put it on the envelope, you can put it on the letter. You don't have to, if you're doing like a letter and envelope, you don't have to put it on both. Or if you don't want to put a logo on anything, that's okay. You could still qualify. And what you do, by the way, is if you do put a logo on your piece, you would send that to our department. We would look at the artwork and make sure your logo's on it. But if you choose not to use the logo, there is a second way for you to get approved. And that is by an acceptable form of certificate. And that is where I'm going to turn it back over to Jerry, because this is his and his, and I'll let him talk about it.
Yeah, this is actually the exact Sylvamo document that was uploaded to the business customer gateway and approved. So this document proves that all Sylvamo paper made within North America meets the criteria for the USPS promotion for sustainability, the 1% add-on. And this is the 1% obviously is combined with any other promotion that runs through all of 2025. So we will send out the service request number to our customers and potential new customers so they can simply upload this into the business customer gateway, and you do not have to request our official documents. And the component of this, we've got an upcoming workshop, collective upcoming workshop. We'll walk people through that when that comes through so they get the mechanics of this and to make it as easy as possible for this additional 1%.
Thank you, Jerry. How about this here? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, this is just highlighting the brands that are covered under the 1% additional sustainability component. And then I'd just like to ask the folks that are involved today, 526 and counting, which is an incredible number. Thank you to everyone. Think about other topics for the Sylvamo webinar series. Go ahead and throw them into the chat or Q&A. We will continue to do this on a regular basis to continue to add value for all of us through the chain. It's a learning experience for all of us and trying to add value for a piece of the industry that's near and dear to all our hearts.
All right, Brenda, speak briefly to us now about these other two additional incentives for catalogs and then the exciting mail growth incentive, which we got a lot of questions about as folks came into the room. So talk to us briefly about these two.
Sure. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with the promotions that we just talked about, but I did want to bring it up because it is two more great incentives from the United States Postal Service. One of them is for the catalog incentive. It's 0.1% a penny per piece, and the person that's preparing the mail just needs to go in and check a box that it is catalog. And if you interested in more information on it, just drop in the chat the word catalog, and we'll make sure to reach out to you, get that information. The other one is our marketing mail growth incentive. This year was our first year you did it. It was wildly successful. It rewarded our largest mailers that do over 1 million pieces an incentive to grow their mail and get a significant discount for future mailings. And so the exciting news is we're going to do it again next year, and that can be a whole webinar in itself, but I just want to let you know that it's alive and well, and it will be here next year.
Brenda, you're still in my little tactics there with dropping the word catalog there in the chat. Good for you.
I know, I got that from you. I learned that from you.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I see a lot of people asking for it. And related to the mail growth incentive, I know we had a lot of you asking questions about that as you came in. So here's what we're wondering. I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. Are you interested in a specific event, similar to what Jerry just asked a second ago? Would you like to learn more about the USPS growth incentive? So again, this is for volume mailers or high volume mailers. Brenda, what is it? What do you need to do to qualify? Remind me, how many pieces? 1 million or more?
Yeah, well, if you're already doing, like for instance, if you're a customer that this year did 2 million pieces and you show us that that's your baseline of 2 million, then in the next year, everything you go over 2 million, you're going to get a 30% discount in postage as a credit. 30% as a credit. So you could use it for future mailings, and you have the following the year to use up those credits. But if you're new entry into mail and you haven't done 1 million pieces, or in the past, and you do 1 million pieces, then that's your entry level, and then everything over 1 million pieces, and let's say you do 1.2 million, that 200,000 pieces, you're going to get 30% off postage in a form of a credit. It's significant. We've I don't know the numbers yet. I don't know, Chris, I think
Yeah.
you knew a few of the numbers. Go ahead and tell us. We have a second to tell how wildly successful it was.
This is incredibly successful, which is why it's going to continue into 2025. The rules are still the same, again, with that, but we're talking $200 million in credits were created now for the over 1,000 people that registered for this. 2 billion more pieces were mailed as a result of this. This is a win-win-win. It's a win for the Postal Service with additional pieces. It's a win for those mail owners that are collecting the credits. And for mail service providers, it's a win for you. Because when you help that customer, that mail owner, get registered for this and start accumulating those credits, who do you think they're going to spend them with? You, right? So this is a great way to be able to work with your customer, help them get some credits, and best of all, spend those credits on a promotion discount. Start doing some new A/B testing and things like that with it. It's a fantastic way to grow mail volume, get in the game, and start taking advantage of all these promotions and the incentives.
And Chris, I was just going to say that you can do the growth incentive and the promotion at the same time. That's something that people have asked me a lot. So you can do both. So that's a double whammy there. So
yeah, for sure. All right. I'm going to end the poll there and share the results. And overwhelmingly, we got 82% of you saying yes, you would like to learn more about that. 18% say no thanks, that's no problem. But team, I think we definitely see some significant interest in that. So thank you, folks, for giving us your input on that. Next, Chris, I'm going to come to you here. I want to know, if you can, take a moment. We've had all of these questions coming in from folks as they entered the event today. And we had some very tactical questions about how you actually execute these promotions, how you get started with them in the BCG and such. So can you give us a hand in understanding where do people start with that?
Yeah, sure. And I've been kind of monitoring the chat group a little bit as well. So let's start with a couple of things to level set. Each one of these promotions, if you will, it's on a piece level. So when you are looking at something to qualify for the promotion, look at it sort of in a singular fashion. This mailing, I want to participate in a particular promotion. So I log into the business customer gateway, and then I submit a mail piece for pre-approval. Now, I understand from our postal partners, they've really enhanced their approval process. Less than 4 hours in a lot of cases. So same day type turnaround. And you might have to mail the physical piece to the post service. You may have to send in a digital sample of it. You might have to kind of explain how you're going to do something, right? Again, back to those continuous contacts. What is the promotion contact? What's the period of time? When does it begin, end? How many pieces are involved? Things like that. So you need to be looking at it in that way. And the key thing here is that you need to start early. I want you all to start early. Start thinking about this. Put those thinking caps on. Look at the pieces you're already doing and begin to catalog those, right? So that you're ready to go to the business customer gateway, log in, submit the piece for pre-approval. The post service will give you a decision, again, very quickly on this. And then once it is registered and approved, then you can begin mailing those pieces. And then you're going to be able to claim the discount. And you'll be able to get that discount off the time of mailing, again, for 4 out of those 5. The fifth one is going to be the business reply mail that comes afterwards, as I mentioned before. But it's really as simple as four steps with it. We can all count to 4 on one hand, folks. You can make this happen. And to help you along the way, the Postal Service has updated their guidebooks. They've been listening to the industry. They've been working closely with MTAP User Group 8, getting our feedback from the industry on how to improve these. These guidebooks are available. Download them. That's, in fact, your first step. I want you all to download the guidebooks. And then if you're a printer mail service provider, start looking at all the stuff that you're mailing today. Set up a big conference room, put them all on the table, and start kind of categorizing them. Hey, these ones qualify for TSI. These ones qualify for first-class advertising. This is my business reply mail. I'm going to upgrade that barcode with the IMbA and put that together. And then be prepared to reach out to our postal partners. Brenda, I understand you folks set up an email address here. You've even got a toll-free number. You're standing by, ready to answer the questions and help people take advantage of this, right?
I'll just say, please take advantage of MSSC. There's an email there and a phone number. They can actually walk you through the business customer gateway and get you started with the promotions. They'll hold your hand through it. So take advantage of the service. They're there every day.
Amazing. And actually, I think a special announcement here, folks. We have 2 folks from USPS who are going to be joining us for another live event where they will be walking through the BCG for each one of these to show you step-by-step how you do it in the BCG. It's a 90-minute workshop. If you want to attend that workshop, I'm going to have more information here on the screen in just a moment. But Brenda, I'm going to steal this tactic back from you. Drop the word workshop into the chat, workshop, if you would like to attend that event. And speaking of events, another resource to put on your calendar here. Brenda, I'll let you talk about this. I know USPS is also doing an event, what is it, next week on the promotions. Tell us a little bit about what we will learn there.
Yeah, so we're having another promotion. It's going to talk a lot about what we talked about today. There'll probably be some different examples. And so we highly recommend you join that promotion as well. And if you're interested in that, I'm going to say, drop in the chat part 2, and we'll get you the link.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Brenda. Another great resource there. And then also, in addition to what Chris has shown you, Brenda has made a number of other resources available to the attendees today. So folks, after the event, you're going to get something from us. I think it's going to be a PDF with all of the resources we talked about today, the recording, the slides, all of the guides and everything in one nice handy document. But Brenda, you've given us a few additional things here. Quickly, what are we looking at here? What have you made available to everyone?
You know, these are just some videos that you can, it shows you how to onboard, and you can just take a look at them. And, you know, in addition to all that Chris said about the guidebooks, we just have so many resources for you. And then, you know, I'm actually the type that I want someone to walk me through it, you know, so there's some of these videos will be helpful, but like, you know, I would call MSSC and just say, hey, okay, show me how to walk to get onboarded in the mailing promotions portal. So there's just, everyone learns in many different ways, you know, so, and we're trying to give you all ways, the video, phone number to call, links, the guides. So that's just all that is.
Yeah, so drop the word workshop there in the chat. As I mentioned, Darren, who's here in the chat, I think furiously answering, what do we have? 75 open questions. Darren and Anastasia, you guys got to type faster there. We're going to run out of time. But if we run out of time, no problem. Darren and Latasha are going to join us here Thursday, November 21st, 2:30 to 4 Eastern, 90-minute workshop to show you the real world examples of walking through these promotions using the BCG. All right. So if you want to attend that, drop workshop into the chat and we'll make sure that you get signed up for that. All right. Now we're going to go to your questions. I know that there has been a lot that have come in. Darren and Anastasia, thank you for answering all of those questions. If you had a question that wasn't answered, now's your time to be selfish. Go ahead and drop that into the Q&A or into the chat. But before I get to your real-time questions, I have a question for all of you. Two-part question. Number one, what promotion that we spoke about today were you most excited by? Are you most interested in? If you didn't answer that yet, please take a moment to drop that into the chat. And secondly, what other topics would you like us to bring you in these events with Sylvamo here? I had my friend Mike text me behind the scenes. He was saying, hey, an idea for Jerry and the team is one about the new legislation that has to do with leads and digital marketing, lead generation and the TCPA laws, which could drive direct mail, etc. So yeah, that's an interesting conversation there, Mike. So if you have other ideas like that, please take a moment to let us know there in the chat. All right, let's see. I don't know how we're going to do this. We've got so many questions coming in, but I'm going to pick a few that I see here. And then I think the USPS folks, Stacia, Darren, you might need to come on the air a little bit here as we pose some of these to you. So does a personalized QR code qualify, Brenda, for the integrated technology promo?
It has to go to a shopping site. So
So it
that's
would need to
that's
go
the
to
biggest,
something
yeah. It has to go to shop.
commerce
We want the customer to interact further, and that's, you know, to increase the customer sale by, you know, shopping. So
Yeah. You know, something like this catalog. Maybe you got this one, right? It's a little holiday Christmas catalog, with all the little toys in there. You know, kids are seeing this. I love this. There's no prices on it, right? But there is a QR code. That's interactive, right? I can begin to add that to a shopping cart. So take a look for those as those are coming out too.
Brenda, will there be, oh, hey, Ruben, my friend Ruben, will there be a parcel incentive program?
I can't answer that one.
Okay. If anybody knows there from USPS, let us know there in the chat. I see somebody saying they have to jump off. This has been a huge help. You're welcome. Tom Duchesne is saying the California new law impacting copy on fundraising packages needs to be 18 point, takes effect January 1. So Tom, maybe that's a suggested topic there that you're talking about. Let's see. From Scott here, for the 2025 first class mail advertising promotion, Brenda, will we be able to include buck slip inserts and not just printed inserts?
That's a good question. Actually, I've been asked that before, and maybe somebody from our promotions team can answer that. I don't think so. I think it was recommended to look at for the following year, because actually, I don't know who asked that question. I don't know, it was one of my customers, but one of my customers just asked me that. Oh, Scott. Okay, something different, but good question. Yeah, I'll let the promotions team. I don't think it is this year, but prove me wrong.
Okay. Promotions team, Anastasia, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, because we were reading the questions as you were talking?
Yeah, no problem. The question was from Scott saying, for the 2025 first class mail advertising promotion, will we be able to include buck slip inserts?
Yes, you will. The advertisement can be on a buck slip that's added to the first class piece.
Okay, you heard it here, Scott.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Another follow-up, maybe stay on the line there, stay on the air. What if the personalized QR code goes to a microsite where the prospect can order a free brochure? Would that qualify?
I'll let the contract. All
right, we'll check into that one.
Excellent question.
We have to see the sample.
Yes.
It's a mobile shopping experience, so typically for purchase, that's one of those gray areas. But yeah, please submit it to the mailing promotions portal for us to review.
Okay, David, we can help you with that, of course, if you need help. Carrie is asking, once we get a texture envelope approved, will the approval last for the entire promotional period? Okay.
So the treatment will be approved for the entire promotional period, but we do need to see the final mail piece copy because we do review for mail diversion as well.
Okay. Does a continuous contact mailing that qualifies for promotion and is being mailed with a first mailing within the promotional period, did those need to be broken out into separate mail streams? Who wants to take that one?
So, you've got, so if it's continuous contact, right, let's say you're doing 5 touches, right, 5 different mailings. So these are 5 different mailings. However, they're all collectively part of a campaign, a thematic campaign of continuous contact, right? So you would need to explain the whole campaign, right? What is my entire campaign? I'm going to do a five mailings, 5 different touches, 5 pieces. So I explain that this is the theme. This is how each one, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be done. These are the drop dates on that. So from an MSP's perspective, you're going to see it as 5 separate mailings, right? But from a promotion and a continuous contact, it's really this whole large theme, if you will. That's why I continue to use that term. So I want you to start thinking thematic like that, progressive, those are the 2 key words, and then be prepared with those individual mailings.
Let's see. From Beth, I just saw that one flash by. Can continuous contact work for magazine issues if there is a built-upon message? Brenda, do you know?
I would think so, but I'm going to let the team answer that one.
Okay, team? They're probably furiously typing.
When you submit your continuous contact pre-approvals, you'll have the ability to relate continuous mailings to the original one. So I would say it's not a no. You have to prove to us that they relate.
Yeah.
Even if it's a magazine. The question is specifically magazine.
Yeah. So let's be clear. When you say magazine, are we talking periodicals?
Beth, let us know what you're thinking there.
And if in doubt, you can always mail the promotions team. We have an email address, and you can always email them and ask them, and they'll answer you. So this is not.
Will you drop that in the chat, Brenda?
Sure.
Will you drop that in the chat for us?
Yeah. Let me just make sure. Or
if it is, periodicals are ineligible.
Ineligible?
Ineligible, correct.
Yeah, periodicals would not qualify. They're not eligible for promotion discounts.
Okay. Well, a lot of continuous contact. So Nathaniel, let me take your question here. What is the minimum number of mailings required in a series to qualify? Is it as simple as an initial drop plus a remail? Yes, the answer is yes to that, right, folks?
It is, yes. The first mailing does not receive the promotion discount, though.
But 2 and beyond do it. And I know I've been asked about this outside the webinar before too, David, so I want to be clear on it. Just because you've got a customer, if you're an MSP and you've got a customer say, well, we mail 3-4 times a year for this particular customer, that's not necessarily continuous contact. Again, we're talking about a campaign, a specific campaign that builds upon each other, right? So it's not just the fact that, hey, I'm doing 5 mailings for this one particular customer. Is that continuous contact? No, it has to be that campaign. Think about it from a theme that builds progressively from pieces 2 and beyond. That's the key part of it, folks.
Yep. Brenda, from Mike Robinson here, for the QR code to the commerce site or retail site, what about an incentive for financial services companies to drive an application, as what you're talking about with the QR only serves retail and shopping, but given that financial services is the top sector with mail volume, is there any consideration for that? I think the question is from the mailer with the QR code to an online application or something where the user has to submit an application. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thought. And I think, and we're always looking for new ways for the future, like for 2026. So I would highly recommend you enter your suggestion to mailing promotions at USPS.gov and let them know, and they will look at it, because there's a lot of promotions that are new that came from folks like yourself. So we do want to hear about any new ideas.
Okay. All right, let's advocate for that, Mike, and others, if you agree with what Mike's saying there. Monty is asking, how many pieces must match? I think this is continuous contact again. How many pieces need to match, or do you have to find a way to submit only matching addresses?
So we are still in the process of determining that, so we can't give you a definitive answer at this time, but it will hopefully be released shortly, and we will have it posted on Postal Pro.
Excellent. All right, good. I see a lot of thank yous here. Folks, if you have to drop off, before you drop off, please give your thanks to Brenda, Chris, Jerry, and the entire team that has put on today's event, USPS, everyone. Please drop your thanks there in the chat. Let them know how much this meant to you, if you found it useful, before you drop off today. Yes, can we get a link to the recording? Absolutely. I see people asking for the recording. Yes. Sam, I see your question here. We publish an advertising booklet, think coupons, that we mail to, what is that? I can't tell without the commas. I'm going to say 1.3 million homes. 10 times per year. Would this qualify for continuous contact? The list changes very little from mailing to mailing. Brenda? Advertising booklet.
I think that's, again, yeah, I think that's another thing that you need to submit and see if it gets approved. So, and
Okay.
in the deck, it has when you can go in and submit it. And they opened it up early so you can get that feedback back from the team, and they're pretty responsive. Darren, would you have anything else to say about that?
Marketing mail is what qualifies for continuous contact. So I think everything has to start with marketing mail.
Yep.
All right, there we go. Let's see. Gosh, there's so many things here. I got to pick a few here. I'm going to go from Mark. Hey, Mark. The technical guide for first-class mail promotion states that it can't just be on buck slips, but must be on the mail piece. Can you clarify? Who can take that?
That is correct. Buck slips do not qualify for first-class mail. Advertising, it must be either within the contents of the mail piece on an envelope, within the envelope, or it can be a standalone, such as a postcard, and qualify.
There you go, Mark. Good question here from David. David, strong name here. Would a link to a donation site qualify for integrated technology? Thinking of nonprofit mail. So I think he's talking about QR code to a donation site. Would that qualify?
Yep. So donations qualify under mobile shopping, and they must include either a reply piece or a piece that's returned, such as a thank you.
There we go. Lisa saying, I love so many experts providing content and answering all the questions. Yeah, Lisa, thank you to Sylvamo, Jerry, AJ, and the whole team for putting the event on today. I know that you're all getting a lot of value out of this. We still have over 300 of you here in the room. The event was excellent. I'm seeing a lot of thank yous. Thank you, folks. That's very nice to hear. Let me scroll through and see if I can see some questions. Brenda, as I'm doing that, did you see any question that came in that you thought we needed to double down on or give some more clarity on? Anything that you saw?
Yeah, I was just kind of looking through everything. A lot of continuous contact interest, which is great. I highly recommend you guys download the guidebook. And when we give you this presentation, you'll see the link for that. It's in Postal Pro, and it'll give you all kinds of information on it. And my other suggestion to you is go ahead and upload in the mailing promotion portal to see if you get it approved. That's the only way you're going to know like 100% for sure, but we want to approve ads. We're not looking to say, no, we want you to get the discount. So, as long as, you're following the rules and you're changing the artwork, going, the same, like my restaurant example, same restaurant, changing the messaging, that, we want it to work for you all.
Yep. I see Jim saying here, this should be the only team to hold webinars moving forward. Wow. Great energy and informative. I second that. That sounds great to me as well. Stacia and Darren, I want to have you guys speak for a moment here. Since you've been furiously chatting there with everybody. Stacia, let me start with you. Was there like a top question or a question that you kept getting over and over again that you would like to speak about? Anything the top, kind of the top of the list?
Actually, the continuous contact seems to be the most prevalent questions that are coming forward. And it's very disheartening to us that we don't have those answers to provide to you right now. And I know that that's not a great feedback, but we are working on those. We will get those as soon as possible. And I would like to add, if all of these questions can be shared with us, we are trying to work on an FAQ that we can post on Postal Pro. And we would like to include there's some fantastic questions in here that we'd like to get out there so people can have, that at their fingertips too.
Yeah, you answered 61 questions, and there's still 115 in the Q&A, and I see 99 plus messages here in the webinar chat, so overwhelming. Yeah. Darren, what about you? What do you think rose to the top there in terms of questions you were answering?
I think specific approvals. Like you said, mailing promotions portal, pretty quick turnaround. If you're looking for something specific, even a concept or an idea, there's 40 people on the other side of that portal. So it's fully staffed. You will get your response, and sometimes you'll get a recommendation if you're close. So submit whatever you have.
Okay, fantastic. And Stacia, don't be disheartened. We know you guys are doing a lot of work and you're working hard to answer all these questions, and it's not easy. Thank you for doing what you do. We really appreciate it. Tina is asking, most of my questions are about how exactly add-on discounts are applied. So Brenda and team, listen up here. So add-on discounts. Currently, we have informed delivery. Cost is in setup and reporting for us, where we did not receive the incentive, spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, determined it was a USPS technical issue, and we don't know if we will later receive it. It makes it hard to determine postage. I'm concerned that the later discounts will be hard to constantly capture. Interesting feedback. Brenda, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know we had recently, are you talking about recently, we had an issue with informed delivery, and the team does try to resolve it and get your credit back. So, but there was an issue there. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I don't know if one of Stacia or Darren wants to talk about, the 1% that's the entire year on informed delivery and how you're going to keep track of those dollars.
You will be applying the CCR code. So base promotion has a CCR code. Let's say it's TSI, and then you will have your add-on up to 2. It will be broken out. I mean, it's broken out for us when we see who takes the discounts, and it's at a line level. So I hope that answers your question.
a few acronyms that maybe people didn't understand, right? So when you're uploading your electronic documentation through mail.dat or mailxml, again, you've all got this in your software, folks, that you're selecting through the software what code you're going to be doing. And yes, because the incentives, just to answer another question out there, promotions incentives are kind of two different things, but you could combine them together in the sense that the incentives, which is money that you've credited, you've accumulated from the credits, could be spent on the promotions, right? So that's how you get that multiplying effect with it. But you're identifying what promotion you're requesting, the add-ons you're asking for, and then how it's going to be paid for through your electronic documentation.
I see Josh here making a statement, which I think is particularly notable, given what I believe USPS is trying to do to get more people to mail. Josh is saying we're new to direct mail, and this has been awesome. Thank you. And I know, Brenda, that's a big push. Obviously, from us in the community, we want to try to get more companies mailing and new companies who haven't used mail to mail. So just fantastic to see that. Brenda, you agree, I assume?
Yes, in fact, Josh, drop in the chat your name again, because I'll have someone come and talk to you. So yeah, we love the people that want to mail and new mailers especially. So please, I want to know who you are.
Sam says, thank you, everyone. Extremely informative. Ron is asking for the slides in the recording. Yes, definitely. We will get those to you. I'm throwing the BCG, or the Business Customer Gateway Workshop, back up on the screen. Just as a reminder, 90 minutes with Darren, who's here in the chat. You've heard his voice. And Latasha, who is also with USPS, where we will be walking through, they will be walking through the Business Customer Gateway step by step, click by click, so that you can see them do this live. So if you want to be there, make sure to drop the word workshop into the chat. You'll want to get that out to anybody on your team who needs to know this information. It's going to be highly informative. I see that there's some people who are new to direct mail, so we'll keep that, all of that in mind as we go through that material. Chris, what did you see in the chat that stands out to you in terms of kind of top theme or top question?
Clearly, the continuous contact is a big part of that. And I'm not surprised, right? Because a lot of MSPs that are on the webinar here, they do repeat mailings for their customers. But as I said before, that's not the same as doing continuous contact. It's really, there's an important nuance to it with that part. I'm a little bit surprised, I have to tell you, David. I'm surprised I don't see more information about the tactile, sensory, and interactive. To me, TSI is the exciting one, right? Because as I said, everybody's doing something that most likely qualifies, right? If you've got a clean release card, that qualifies. If you've got something that tears off, that qualifies. I'm telling you, folks, you're holding a bucket full of money with mail pieces. There's money on the table, and we're talking 4%. 4% for that TSI discount. You're doing it on recycled paper. At least I hope you are. If not, Sylvamo is definitely going to help you with that. And then also, they inform delivery. As I said before, everybody's got access to that, folks. You've got the tools, the technology to make that happen. You could be getting 6% for your customers, and that way you're going to be leading the pack. Don't be a slow zebra. Get in front. You don't want the lines to overtake you, folks. You can do that with these promotions and level up your business.
I noticed people kind of worried about getting their credits. I highly encourage you to go to that webinar that you're going to do the workshop, because I think when I first started this presentation, I said, there's myths out there, like it's too hard, it's six, I don't, and it's because they just don't know, people that haven't been in the portal. And so this workshop is going to, Darren's going to take you through, and he's going to actually be in the workshop showing you, he's going to show you in the portal how to do it, each one of them. And I think that will help you to understand how you're going to get your credits, so you feel a little better about it.
Awesome. We're so excited for that as well. Jerry, I want to come over to you on the sustainability piece. So if you've got Sylvamo customers here and they want to take the next step, what should they do in terms of reaching out to the right person on the Sylvamo side?
Yeah, if they're current customers, they can just talk to our sales rep. If they're like Josh, new to direct mail, they can contact myself or AJ directly. But we're ready, willing, and able to help with information on any of this. I think the other piece you guys have spoken about at great length is the next step on this is the workshops, right? So how do we tactically walk through this? How do we help folks get to the other side? But for us on the sustainability piece, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's fairly easy just to connect with us, and our products do apply. So happy to participate. And I saw Jen from Weiland, who's a good customer of ours, on there also. If you've got a question, just drop it in for us. We're happy to help out.
Okay, fantastic. And Jerry asked all of you a question. I hope you had a chance to answer that. We still have 250 of you here in the room. What would you like us to do for you next? So we've got the workshop coming up. We know we're going to do that. You gave us your feedback on the growth incentive for the volume mailers. What other topics related to direct mail would you like us to bring you information on? Mike Robinson gave us a good idea. Take a moment, drop that in here, because we will continue to pull together experts like this group here, or maybe this group again, to continue bringing you what it is that you need to know in order to continue to mail. So yes, please do that. I see Adelie saying, great webinar, super excited to continue learning with this team. Hey, Adelie, is this your first time with us, or have you been at the other sessions as well? Remember, this is the third event that we're doing. Let's see. Jen is saying, can we have a webinar on the new California SB 1096? Jen, great idea there from Wyland. Remind me, what is that? I think I know, but I want to make sure I get that right. Gosh, continuing to come in. Fantastic webinar. Also want to participate in the workshop. Michelle, you got it. Sue Sweeney is saying, thank you. Very informative. This is my first webinar with you. Just in the chat, this is good for me to know. If you've been to only one event, drop a 1 in the chat. If you've been to 2, drop a 2. If you've been to all 3, drop a 3. I'm curious. How many of you are here for the first time? Jen is saying, if we have clients that we would like to join the workshop on the BCG, could you forward me a link to forward to all of our clients? Jerry, I assume that we're all okay with that in USPS team, right? We'd love the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We want everyone to be on it because it'll be like an aha moment. Like, oh, this is not that hard to do. Once you watch Darren go through it, I mean, honestly, that's what we want. We want you guys to feel good about doing it and saving that money. And it's not this, so hard to do.
Jerry, props to you here. Says this was an impressive webinar format, especially Jerry and his presentation. Wow, cool. Props
Less
for
is
that.
more. Less is more, Dave.
I would be interested in more and the decks. All right. Monty is asking for a quick webinar setup. Oh, a quick webinar on setting up mail.dat to capture all of these promotions. Chris, that's an interesting idea. Or if BCC is already planning one, can I get on the invite? Chris?
I don't know if I've got one planned right now, but I will tell you that our support team, we're meeting next week. We're going to be putting together some very specific knowledge-based articles, other things that are all promotion specific. So we're taking these questions, we're taking this feedback, which is excellent. Thank you, everyone, because you're really helping us to tailor some important, specific to the BCC customers, right? Because we know that you're using the tools to do that, but how you can upload this to the system, how you can interface with the Postal Service. Maybe also open up a conversation about how we can measure the overall efficacy of the campaign, right? Because if you're a mail service provider, your customer's going to want to ask you, what have you done for me lately? Well, here you go, right? This is what we did for your mailing campaign and how it performed. So we're interested in that. I also want to shout out to the Postal Partners for some of the API toolkits. The Informed Visibility MTR, the mail tracking report system, that's where we get all the Informed Visibility data feeds. That's going to be enhanced as we come into 2025. That will start to carry now some of the campaign information for us. Folks, I am super excited. You can probably tell. The future is bright, right? I got to put on shades for all the opportunities that we have for these promotions that we can with this next year. Get engaged with it now. Take a look at what you're doing. Download the guidebooks, and you get in the game.
That's awesome, Chris. You've got all the good one-liners there. Hey, I want to give our panel an opportunity to learn a little bit from you and the audience here, since there's still so many of you here. Brenda, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to hit each of you. Brenda, do you have a question for the audience? Is there something you would like to know that would help you serve the community better? Brenda, anything come to mind?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I live in this space. I manage mail service providers and some of the ad agencies that do the mail. And so I'm really interested in these questions. It's been hard for me to read them and be on. So I want to take the time to do that. But our promotions teams really does care that we want to make it better for you all and to get better every year. We want suggestions. And I've seen promotions change because of those suggestions. The biggest thing that I've heard is that it's not worth the few percentages. And it really is worth the few percentages when you find out how easy it is to do. And that's why I'm so excited about this workshop you guys are going to do. They're going to be, and I think that the mail service providers that aren't doing it right now, they're going to be like, oh, why haven't I been doing this? And that extra 0.5% that we're giving you all year now, that's huge. That's huge for you guys. It's a huge incentive for you to talk to your customers now.
Brenda, I'm just curious, what happens? Let's say you've got 2 customers, printers, let's say, right? Printer A and printer B. And printer A does not mention one of these promotions to the end customer. What happens when printer B knocks on the door? That customer says, hey, you're getting the discounts, right? And they say, what discounts, right?
I tell my customers that all the time. The ones that, most of my customers are pretty engaged with the promotions, but the ones that are not, I'm like, you know what? I just think like, you're going to lose the business to another MSP that knows what's going on and it's taking advantage and engaging. I just think everyone needs to be engaged because it's your livelihood. I mean, coming from the other side, I used to sell mail. I mean, I was at an MSP. I wanted to know everything that USPS had to offer, so I had a competitive edge.
That's right. All right, Chris, your turn to be selfish. Question that you have for the audience, something you would like to know?
Boy, something I'd like to know. I think we've kind of got most of it, right? The clearly continuous contact is a big theme on that, and I can understand that. It's less about asking questions for the audience. Just one final reminder, right? If you are an MSP, job number 1, download those guidebooks immediately. Download those things. Start taking a look at it. Get an understanding of what's available, the opportunity. Step 2, look at all the pieces you are already producing. Brenda, you're spot on when you said that before. It is so within your reach. We're not talking about creating something brand new here. We're talking about cataloging what you already do today. There's money on the table. There's opportunity within your grasp. Start figuring that out. And then step 3, Educate and enable your sales team so that when they're talking to their customer, they're able to bring this into the conversation. This is why direct mail works. That's why I shared the statistics with you in the beginning part of that, right? This is the opportunity you have. Those that are going to be able to talk about the promotions and help their customers take advantage of it, they're the ones that are going to lead forward. The rest of you, you're the slow zebras. You can't do something different, unless you start getting engaged today, right? So now's the call to action. Do something. Don't just sit back and watch everybody else take advantage of this. You need to do something too. So jump in, get engaged, and take advantage of this.
And get new ideas. I mean, the whole thing is that you're going to get new ideas for your marketing mail piece to increase response rates. That's why we're doing the promotions. We're doing it to increase response rates for you. That's
a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, Brenda. On that same page, right, when you go for the guidebooks, I believe that there's a place where you can submit suggestions for future promotions, right? Certainly MTAC User Group 8, I mentioned before, that's a venue to be able to have these conversations. It's sort of a free-flowing think tank. But my understanding is that there's a way for you to email directly or submit to the Postal Service, hey, I got an idea for this as a potential promotion. They want to hear from us. The excitement that I have for 2025 is the direct result of the mailing industry being creative and sharing ideas with the Postal Service. Let's continue that conversation and really take direct mail to the next level.
Chris, there are a couple things you said that I think are touching people here in the audience. So Lisa, what kind of company do you represent? Forgive me for not knowing. Who are you with? But Lisa's saying, bingo. If the mail provider is not on top of the promotions, that will sway my decision in using them for my mailings. I think, Brenda, that's to the point of you're an ad agency. Okay, that's helpful. Lisa, very interesting. Barry is saying, hey, in the past, I found it hard to get in touch with the right person within the USPS. That is the product manager for a unique incentive or a discount offered. Is there a way to get a single list of contacts that match, I guess, the product and discount with the right person at USPS?
That would be tough. I mean, because there's just, a handful of them in that department, but you can go through MSSC, you can go to mailing promotions at USPS.gov and you will be talking to those folks when you email and they will respond to you with your question. We also have sales reps out there at USPS that can answer your questions. And so we just need to get you the right person. So if you want to put your name in the chat and your business name, we'll have someone contact you from the post office.
And the address that you're talking about, the email and the phone number, that's what I have up here on the screen. Is that right, Brenda?
Yeah. So mailing promotions at USPS.gov. Any question you have, send them. They're all there answering the questions, like Stacia and Darren are today answering questions for us. So please take advantage of that. And also the phone number up here and the other.
And when they call, they should say, hey, Brenda told me to call, right?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Darren and Stacia, I'm going to come over to you, ask you the same question. Darren, because you're going to be helping with the BCG walkthrough, is there anything you would like to know from the audience that would help us better serve the community?
Well, our group doesn't just do promotions. We try to find solutions to make it easier to mail, whether that's through getting the discounts or selling it to your customers. We like to hear anything and everything, right? If you think you know a way to make things easier, we want to hear it.
All right. Stacia, what about you?
Yeah, I just think sessions like this are fantastic because we're actually hearing from the customers themselves. We don't always get these customers sent directly to us. So we think we're on the right track, but when we're looking at a promotion and we view it from our perspective, we really want to hear the customer's input. We want to be able to gauge that and find how we can make this more fluid for everybody. And sessions like these are fantastic. So thank you for that.
That's great. All right, Jerry, I'm going to come over to you then last. Anything you want to know from the audience or any words you want to share with the group that's still here?
Yeah, I think we host these webinars so that we're not the slow zebra, right? We're trying to stay ahead and add a little value. I think the big piece for us here is not only are we speaking to our customers, but in this case, our customer's customer or our customer's customer's customer. So what we would like to hear from you is what's important for you to hear from Sylvamo, because we have multiple intermediaries this information is flowing through. So while our immediate customer might value what we're bringing, it would be great to understand further down through the value chain what you would like to hear from us. We could learn a lot from that.
Great. Please continue to drop that into the chat there, folks. Chris, here is a note for you, and I'm going to try to bring us home in about 4 minutes, folks. So quickly, type in your last remaining question or feedback there in the chat. I know you've all got a lot of stuff going on, but Chris, to you from Frank, saying since the National Postal Forum will occur right before the July rate increase, multiple hands-on sessions for the newbies would be valuable. What do you think about that, Chris?
I agree. I think well, certainly, the webinar, we talked about that. You're going to hear that on November 14th, right? That's going to be the beginning of a little bit more of a deep dive. I would expect that many of the software providers, again, BCC is already currently working on this. I'm sure AccuZip and Anchor and many of the other ones out there. Sorry if I didn't mention the right names, but you know who you're working with. So talk to them, get that involved with it. The National Postal Forum, end of April. And while that is right before the July price increase, don't wait till April, folks. I want to see you at MPF, let's be clear, right? But now is when you need to start. That's why I'll go back to that phrase I said in the beginning. This is your pause of opportunity. You're not going to be chasing around to see what the impact is from a January price change, because that's going to be deferred until July. So don't just wait. Do something now. Start preparing. Start having the conversation with the customers. Look at the calendar that Brenda shared with you. Some of these registrations open up next month, right, in December, like ESI. So get engaged with that now. Begin the conversation. Start working with our postal partners so we understand what qualifies, especially for continuous contact. And then let's hit the ground running right away so that when we gather at MPF, we're celebrating the successes that we've had by leveraging these promotions early.
There you go. Brenda, a question from Barry. Would these discounts apply to mail departments within state government agencies?
I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, as long as it's, marketing mail or whatever, the guidelines are, marketing mail or nonprofit or first class, it states it in the guidebook in Postal Pro. It'll show you. And in this presentation, each promotion I went through, it had on the side there, which, marketing, which mail is included. So yes, government agencies absolutely should take advantage of it.
Okay, awesome. Well, folks, just extremely grateful to Chris, Brenda, Jerry, Stacia, Darren, AJ, and the whole team that is here behind the scenes answering your questions. It's still, 30 minutes past our official end time. So thank you to everybody for sticking around, and the almost 200 of you that are still here in the room. Just super
grateful. Thank you, Ruth Mooney, for the shout out. Ruth Mooney, did you see her shout out?
Ruth. What does that say? Our new mailers locate and join your local PCC, the Postal Customer Council. They're always a great resource for info and advice. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, give us some hearts or reactions. I just saw somebody give a thumbs up there in the Zoom. You can heart or like or something. Please give us a little bit of feedback there. I want to thank Sylvamo, all the panelists. We hope that you've found today's session helpful in demystifying the valuable opportunities that you have on the table, and that you kind of see a little bit more coming out of today's session around how accessible they really are. Was this helpful for you? Give us a yes there in the chat if this was helpful. Give us a yes there in the chat. Was this helpful? Did it help you demystify? A yes, yes, yes. I want to see the yeses from everyone here. I assume if you're still here, you're hanging on for some more information. Remember, as Chris has said, and many of the panelists have said today, many of you are likely already doing things that qualify. It's just a matter of taking those next steps to claim the discount. But we're not done supporting you, even though we're about a minute away from ending this here. Remember to join us on the 21st. You're going to get invites to that. If you've dropped that in the chat, we're going to follow up with you on the hands-on technical implementation walkthrough to make sure we get all your specific questions answered around the BCG. Again, Sylvamo is putting that on. Thank you to Sylvamo for pulling us together there. The USPS team is going to be there to give direct guidance. Between now and then, take the advice that Chris and others have given you. Start thinking about which promotions align with your business goals or the business goals that your customers have in 2025, whether it's the integrated technology, the tactile and sensory, the continuous contact. All of those are things that you should start thinking about now. And this team is here to help you maximize those opportunities. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Jerry, I'm going to give you the opportunity to close us out here, and then we will see everybody at the next event. So Jerry, over to you.
Yeah, Chris, Brenda, Stacia, Darren, and all the folks who helped pull this together. Dave, as always, well done. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Happy to continue to promote and host these webinars, and we've got some nice momentum going on this. We'll continue to do this over the next 18 to 24 months. So looking forward to it, and everybody have a great weekend.
Fantastic. Thank you all. We'll see you soon. Talk to everyone soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.